morning. It is about 8:45 our time, Central Standard Time, here in the Midwest in Cornfields, USA. We're looking at Daisy's puppies right now. They will be 2 weeks old on Saturday. This is Cheyenne right here. Looks like somebody got poop on her. And Miss Pippa too. Sometimes overnight when mom is sleeping, she'll miss somebody's poop and it'll kind of get all over one of the babies. And Daisy has been eating really, really well. We've talked about how much we struggle to get her to eat and gain weight and maintain weight after she gives birth and while she's nursing. But she's been eating really, really well, so that's good news because it puts us a little bit ahead of where we kind of expected to be. So this is Miss Cheyenne, the white collar. Oh, you know what? I ought to put their names in the description. I'll edit the description so that it has their names. But this is Cheyenne right here. And then I'll go this way. This is Della. And then this little girl right here, she's Pippa, as in Kate Middleton's sister. And then, so the boys, this boy is still available, this boy is still available, and we have a family who has reserved this boy, but they're gonna come just to, make sure they don't want one of the others. So we're pretty sure that he will have his name soon. For now, we call him Blackjack. But this guy we call Boo, and this guy we call Moo. Cheyenne and Della, they're my favorites. Oh, good morning, John. Sorry, I'm just now opening the chat. Good morning, Heather. Yeah, we used to kind of do the temporary names where we would do a theme for the litter. Like our first litter we did nuts, so we had Acorn, we had what were other names? Acorn, Almond, Walnut, a few others. But then we did Disney. But kind of what starts to happen is they get families so fast that we spent so much time trying to come up with good names, and then we ended up changing them anyway. So we kind of waited it out now, and then we give them nicknames from there. But what we should do is when most of the puppies have been reserved, and then we have the 2 or 3 that don't find their families for a little bit, give them a themed name. He, is Halloween related. We should have done all Halloween. That would have been cute. So then hopefully by Halloween their names would have been changed. Good girl. Spices. I like that one. Spice. Yeah, so we were starting to struggle to come up with good themes that made good names. But spices, that's a good one. I like that. Daisy was such a good girl this morning. I invited her out to come sit in bed and hang out with us, and because I mean, she can get a break just for 5 minutes, then she'll be much more attentive to them as opposed to just wanting to leave and have time away. And so we brought her out, and usually we have to like be like, okay, time's up, time to go back. But she snuggled us for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden she just stood up. We didn't hear anything, but she just stood up, went to the end of the bed, stood for a second, and then she jumped down and then ran off and just sauntered into the bathroom, and then she just stayed there. And I went and peeked in and saw that she had, they had needed something, and she was then nursing them. And so I was just really impressed with whatever it is she heard, because it wasn't anything we could hear, but she must have heard something that told her that they needed her. And it wouldn't have been something that I could have recognized, because we didn't even notice. And Heather will be rotating the stream over to your baby in a little bit. So you'll be seeing him soon. Get them close. I can't wait. I'm so excited for these guys to open their eyes now that, because Robin's litter and Chance especially, now that they've had their eyes open like for a solid good 3 days, 4 days maybe, they have learned they've learned depth perception now. They've learned different things that they've had to put together with their other senses. And so now they're starting to explore and have more fun, and they're doing more silly things. Like, we woke up this morning and Robin had decided to go lay in the potty pan, and 2 of the puppies were snuggled up right underneath her in the potty pan. And it was super cute. I mean, fortunately they were in a kind of a clean spot, but it was just super sweet that they wanted to be with their mom, and so they just went and snuggled her. They found her and snuggled her. We try to avoid having them be in there though when they're not pottying, because of course, that was the trainers and us where we were like, oh God. But it was too sweet to care. You're such good babies. Such good babies. And there's something else too, when they open their eyes, it's like there's another element of cuteness, cute factor that goes into how they look. Because right now, they just have such cute little teddy bear faces. And then, I don't know, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, but They just get cuter. And Mr. Blackjack here will hopefully have a name soon. And that way he'll have his name before his ears even open, which means he will never have heard Blackjack. He'll just have his real name. Not that it matters, it really doesn't, but I can hear my pup snoring away on her couch. I love that, John, because because he said you can hear her snoring away on her couch. So I know that you got her very own couch, or it's a couch of yours that she has claimed, or something sweet of that nature. And so I just have a nice image pictured in my head. Good morning, Nisho. It's nice to see you. How was your day yesterday, or your night? Did you have a good night? They are super sweet. Daisy's actually been doing a really good job of balancing her time in here with like with their feeding times, and then when they're asleep, then she'll start kind of coming out and asking to have some time with us, some family time. Whereas Robin will just want to have her free time and family time when the puppies are all hungry and wanting to eat. So Daisy's actually, I've been really impressed with how she's handling that feeling of wanting to kind of get some space from the puppies. Good morning, Annette. They are getting plump, that's for sure. Just wait till we switch over to Robin's puppies, and they're even plumper. You'll see why I call them potatoes. Aw, I couldn't sleep, that stinks. Bella is doing much better. Thank you for asking. We gave her some nausea medicine, and that seemed to like get her out of the throwing up nonstop. And then she had chicken noodle soup for dinner, and then she did well overnight. So fingers crossed. And I'm sorry you were up all night. Dang for it. That stinks. I'm glad we were able to provide you with a little bit of company, though. Oh, good, I'm glad. I think Blackjack has a family. We talked to a family yesterday. Super, super, super excited. They're pretty sure about him, but they're gonna come just to be triple sure that they don't like prefer either of these guys over him. But so he's gonna have his name soon and a family. We're really excited. I love getting to know our families. Everybody's got so many different stories, and probably almost half of our families are looking for some sort of emotional support dog, animal companion. And families are very, very honest about kind of what's led them to us. And so it's just really nice to hear all the different things people have been through and how they've gotten to where they are. And I mean, we feel really honored that they're even they share as much as they do with us. I mean, as I'll say that everybody does, but a lot of the families looking for the emotional support animals, or they're looking for a puppy to be their emotional support animal, usually either for their child or like a young adult. But yeah, we love getting to know our families. It's like I feel like people who are drawn to Cavaliers tend to be pretty good people. One of our families she actually comes on here. She has Louie, Cindy. She goes to Cavalier Club each month, and she's always telling us about all the things they do, and just the Cavalier people, the community of people that have a love for, like, really appreciate Cavaliers. All seem to just be really good people. They're good babies. Nisha, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like somebody pooped during the night and Daisy missed it, and so there's a couple puppies that have a little bit of puppy poop on them. It's nothing like Robin's puppies, of course, because by the time they were this age, we were already giving them baths. They were filthy. Your mama does such a good job keeping you clean. Miss Della, you're gonna be so pretty. I love how my daughter pointed this out. Our 12-year-old daughter, May. So her little double thumbprint right here kind of looks like a heart, with how the thumbprints kind of, one goes one way and one kind of goes the other way. It makes a bit of a heart, and then because it does it like that, it makes the white underneath it look like another heart. And I thought that was really cool, especially since she's a girl, so it's appropriate, it's fitting. We have had people get to it once. We had, a year ago, we had a litter that it was 5 Blenheim boys and 2 Ruby girls, and the family got the 2 Ruby girls. And then a litter this summer, we had Cooper and Connor were a pair of puppies that we suspected might have been like next to each other in the womb, because right after they were born, they were or like after their birth, like starting from day 1, they were just always together when they were feeding, when they were napping, they're always together. And so they went to a couple that are like late 60s, an elderly couple that are just kind of like retiring. And so that's where they are, and they're doing really well. But I was impressed that the elderly couple opted to get two. So we check up on them; they're doing well. So, and then the two Ruby girls I heard were getting into all kinds of trying to Houdini their way through all of the different pet safety, what are those called? All the different little locks and mechanisms to puppy-proof your house. Ah, hey Coley! And Biscuit's getting a spa day tomorrow. That sounds amazing. Good morning, Coley, or I guess good night to you. It's late. And Cooper and Connery, yeah. The Great Escape. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. I will say that getting two puppies at the same time, we do make sure that families kind of understand what they're getting into, that they, because it's not something we would recommend unless, like, if there's a specific reason, then that changes things. It would kind of more depend on what's going on. But in general, bringing two of them home, like in theory, it sounds like it might be a good idea that they have each other, they know each other, they're kind of going through it together. But in practice, unfortunately, what happens more often is that when they're in the new environment, they're both learning that new environment, and as they're learning things, you know, like when they're here at our house still, they already know the routine and it's familiar to them, so they're just kind of going along with it. When they go home to their family, everything's been their whole routine has been changed, and you know, you might keep things as consistent as possible, which is always great. But like, you know, things are still different. It smells different. It is different. And so that will impact their behavior a little bit. But kind of what we have seen, unfortunately, is that they'll feed off of each other. If one of them is getting into something, then the other one will start getting into, either help them get into it, or they'll go get into something else, and then they just start picking up these habits from each other. And so I wouldn't really recommend it, because that's what when we get females, we usually get them in pairs, and we raise the two puppies kind of together and bring them into the rotation once they're old enough. And we have to really make sure that they're not feeding off of each other too much, because we have a big pack. They're not together with each other, and so we can kind of navigate those issues a little bit better. But when somebody doesn't have any pets or dogs, and bringing the two together home, and it's just the two of them, that's a much different dynamic. And so even when we bring the two home, it's still a lot of work. If we can, we'll have them separated by a few weeks. But like our two upcoming moms, Paris and Pom Pom, they're litter mates actually. We fell in love with Pom Pom, and then met her sister, her litter mate, Paris, we were like, oh gosh, we should have gotten Paris, and so we were like, just tack Paris onto the bill and we'll take her too. but we kind of have we have a bit of an advantage where like the dogs, when we have, you know, 8 breeding, we have 8 dogs, and they're all part of the breeding. They're not all necessarily breeding yet, because some of them are puppies, of course, but having that many, we have to really enforce the hierarchy of the dogs living, you know, how they live in the hierarchy of, you know, the alpha dog and dominant to submissive. And so we really try to help reinforce that if they're trying to maintain order with each other, and they're doing different, still do different things, like they walk through a doorway, like most dominant to least, different things like that are respectful of alpha dog and that sort of thing. And so we try to help reinforce that. We don't like interfere when the alpha dogs are when Spike and Missy are kind of like head of the dog pack here, so we kind of let them maintain order, and they do a really good job. Sometimes we have to intervene, but because we have as many dogs as we have, and we are very passionate about having our dogs in our house with us, that our breeding dogs are our pets first, and that's never going to change. So it's really almost helpful that the dogs have this they have this way that they've always had, you know, historically. They've always just lived in the animal kingdom and in this hierarchy of living order, so or pecking order. And it really helps for us, because it's kind of like our more dominant dogs just kind of take care and oversee all of the followers. I'll just call them the less submissive ones, and so it's useful when the pack is this big, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you have like 2 or 3 dogs, it's like not that. It wasn't when we just had Missy, Spike, and it was Missy, Spike, and then Daisy and Robin. So when we just had the 4, it really wasn't that. It didn't really make that much of a difference. But now that we have the 8, that we're always trying to make sure we're giving attention to, since we have 2 stud dogs and all different, we have all these different females that are going through their heat cycles, and you know, we're not mating them each heat cycle, and so we have to we break them into teams. We call them teams, and so we rotate these teams through the house so that like our 2 stud dogs will be separated, so they won't be together, and then our females in heat won't be with, you know, who the stud dog they aren't being mated with, and another female in heat. And so if we have 3 females in heat, we'll have to create 3 teams, because they can get sort of crabby when they're in heat. Up until now, we've only really needed 2 teams with the 2 stud dogs, and with the 3 dogs that we had of age. But with with Paris and Pom Pom about to be reaching their first litter. Where was I going with that? Oh, when we are getting to a point where Paris and Pom Pom are old enough that we're going to be breeding them, their next heat cycle, and so we're going to have to break the teams up a little bit smaller, because when they get pregnant, then there's just that much more, just like the same reason we've had to separate Robin and Daisy. The hormones, they just get territorial and protective, and you know how dogs can be unpredictable, and we've got a house full of fixed dogs, and so we try to be very aware of that, because if you don't pay attention to that, then you can miss some really important but subtle signs that somebody's not happy and things could go down south. So some family when came over last week and they were like, "Where do you keep your dogs?" And so I was just trying to explain that, well, we don't have them out running around when you guys are over, but they usually are just running through the house. We have a gate that kind of is almost in the middle that will separate the two teams, so like they can all basically roam half of the house on each side, but and then they can see each other at that gate, but it's worked well. How much do they sell for? So Cavaliers have a very wide price range. The website that we are endorsed by, they're the company Good Dog. Their website that they screen breeders, and it's kind of an application process basically for us to work with them. And so they they're a wonderful resource. They have lots of really good information. But anyway, looking, I can actually pull up their website right now and tell you what Cavaliers are going for right at the moment. So, but the reason I'm giving you that background on Good Dog is these are the prices of the more of dogs that we know are being health tested, are being x-rayed, are being examined yearly, that the breeders are following good practices. And so that's kind of why I'm prefacing the where I'm getting this. So so there's 331 puppies available, and 2 of those are ours. Or I guess 3 for now. Can usually, so for right now on Good Dog, it looks like it's about man, breeders are starting to hide their prices on the Good Dog page. If you're ever looking for prices on ours, you can just click on the puppies and it'll be right there on Good Dog. So generally speaking, I won't keep. Generally speaking, on Good Dog, the price of a Cavalier ranges from $2,500 to like $6,000, which to me is outrageous. Like I'm cringing even saying that. If you are looking for a Cavalier on a website where you can just create an account in like 2 seconds and list puppies, you'll usually find Cavaliers for about $1,500. But more often than not, those puppies are not health tested. Many of them are not registered or able to be registered. But that's a whole other issue, because registration doesn't mean, necessarily that not having papers doesn't mean they're a bad dog, and being registered doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good dog either. So we'll talk more about that another time. But anyway, so the dogs on other websites where you don't have to go through a screening process, I guess is what I'm getting at, where you don't, where the person who is selling them doesn't have to verify anything. They usually sell them for about $1,500 to $3,000. But to be frank, if you're looking for if you have your heart set on a Cavalier, I would go the route of Good Dog, or like if you're already gonna spend $1,500 or $2,000 on a Cavalier, then get the one that's $2,500 that has been health tested, whose parents have been whose grandparents have been health tested, whose breeders all stay into like you. Just that extra $500 could mean a huge difference, because that 1,500 or that 2,000 for that other listing is probably very inflated for what it should be charged. And so just, I guess, like, be mindful of where think, I guess, in the breeder's shoes. Like, if I were a breeder who cared about my dogs and cared about my puppies, where would I go? What would I do? How would I? And, like, you know, like what we do and what many other good breeders do is we want to connect with the reputable websites and resources, because we also want to connect our families to reputable resources and websites. And so it's just be aware of that. And another thing with the price, because Cavaliers are pricey, and our Cavaliers, by the way, are not $6,000. Our Cavalier, these guys are $3,000, and then Robins are $2,500. But anyway, so where was I going with that? The Cavaliers. Because of their prices, they are often targets of theft, like very big targets, because they can easily be stolen, just quickly grabbed, because they're small, they're cute, and it can easily be an impulse theft. So we microchip all of our puppies and send them home to their families microchipped, and we encourage our families to go online and like register it in the car before they've even gotten home. Because let's say that you were had your dog, you were taking your dog to a dog park, and somebody loved your dog, and or they noticed it, they just really...
Mommy, can I have chocolate milk and the apple?
Yes, I will get you chocolate milk and an apple. I'll be right there.
Mommy,
Yeah.
can you watch it?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. All right, I'll be right there. Anyway, so we encourage our families to activate the microchip as soon as they're in the car, because if somebody were to, the example I was going to give is that people might notice and not even say anything, because they might want to kind of get to know your habits and routine, or they might just take them real suddenly. You could do search on YouTube about dog napping, and there's all kinds of stories. I'm sure there's a lot more on other platforms in the shorter form content. But anyway, so the microchip, we microchip them so that they have an identifiable chip in them that can't be taken out. And then that way, if, God forbid, you were to turn around and your dog is gone, when that person goes to sell it, and the family takes it into the vet's going to scan them with the scanner, and it's going to see the microchip, and it's going to see that the dog belongs to you and is stolen. And so the family at first is probably going to be in a little bit of hot water until they figure out what's going on, but you will be able to get your dog back, fortunately. And so we always try to make sure families understand that not everybody is well-intentioned, and especially with how cute Cavaliers are when they're 8 weeks old and 10 weeks old, when they're that super cute age, when they're still young puppies, and you want to take them to PetSmart and Petco and to the stores, which by all means, please go ahead, you do that. Just don't potty them right outside, because that's where everybody potties their dogs, and you don't want them to pick up anything. But by all means, take them into PetSmart and carry them through, or however you want to do it. But anyway, people will they're so adorable, and when you love when people can appreciate your puppy for how cute they are, and it's easy in the dog world to kind of forget that, because most dog people are really good people. I feel like most of the dog people we have come across and met have all been really, really good people. And so it's just always good to just be on the, just be wary, because it could be a very expensive ordeal, and it's on the rise and it's getting worse. So just make sure you take any precautions that you can. Are you ready for your chocolate milk and your... I'm gonna go get some chocolate milk and an apple for the Velotional. Make sure that the puppies are visible. Ah, cool, you're a dog, people. Thank goodness. you puppies are so darn cute. I'm gonna move the camera around so that you guys can get a bit better. Oh, Della. That's little Miss Della. Della. Can you say hi? You're squirmy. Look how pretty. Oh, so she's the one I was explaining earlier. My 12-year-old daughter pointed out how her double thumbprint looks like a heart. And then because of the way that they go out, they make her white blaze look like a heart at the top. And so I thought that was super cute with her being a little girl. She's so pretty. She's a blue Merle tricolor, and I noticed not too long ago. So the blue Merles, they have these, Mr. Moo has it really well. Just a second, sweetie. Where you can see the charcoal kind of color and then the black patches. And he's even got one actually on his, if he'll hold still. He's even got a really cute black patch on his face right here. Just over his ear, over his eye, kind of between his ear and his eye. But anyway, so Della doesn't have as many prominent ones, so it's kind of hard to point them out. So I just wanted to show you though that so they have the big, like, the light black, the charcoal kind of color. And so she has this patch on her behind that is just a regular, just jet black patch, which is super fascinating because they don't have a big black patch like that typically. That's just not how that allele, that recessive gene works. So I thought that was just really interesting. Oh, you're so sweet. You're gonna be opening your eyes soon.
Mommy.
I love the tricolors because they look like they have highlights.
Mommy.
Yes, Bella, sweetie.
Can I get blue?
Can you get beautiful? You are beautiful, sweetie.
You have makeup.
Yeah, well, sweetie, you have makeup too. Good morning, Shar.
Mom, you use makeup.
I was just pointing out, Shar, I don't know if you've noticed with these guys being as young. So May was pointing out to me how her thumbprints look like a heart, and then her blaze looks like a heart right underneath that, and I thought it was cute.
Mom, you use makeup with this, Mommy. You use makeup.
Well, we're not gonna do makeup right now, sweetie pie.
Mom,
First, Mom's gonna do coffee. I'm trying to decide if I should twist them or if I should move the camera. Because the camera is really fickle. Like our internet out in the country, I don't know if any of you are country people, then you understand how freaking annoying internet service is. Oh, now I don't know if I want to move it because Della's so darn cute.
these are one of the glasses.
Yep, those are my glasses.
And I'm going to put them on. The whole world is like down. Like the whole world is down.
Okay, put my glasses back.
No, the glasses are.
To those of you watching, we will be moving the live stream over to the older puppies here in probably the next 20 minutes or so. We're just finishing our coffee and stuff and kind of getting ourselves going for the day. And then we'll bring the live stream over to Robin's puppies and update everybody on those guys. And they're 3 weeks old today, so they're getting their 3-week weights, and they're getting their 3-week weights and their 3-week dewormings. So it's a busy day for them. Hold on, out of my makeup. We're not playing with makeup right now. puppies. Hello, everybody. There's 12 of you on here. I'm going to move the live stream over to Rebin's puppies. They are, they're being big loafs right now, so they're really sweet. They're huge. So let me take you over there, and you can see how darn cute and snuggly and awesome they are. There we go. Oh, I just gotta keep the orientation. I see.
Yeah, it doesn't like it when you do that.
Doesn't like it. Doesn't like a lot of things. Oh, little Miss Mochi fell out of the nest. So you can see where they've been, where we've been pottying them, and where the pellets are turned into powder. Heather, I'm not sure if you're on, but if you are, I was trying to get Chance in the thumbnail again today, but he was being such a stinker. I should have just turned on video just so it could have captured the video of it. But he was trying to get Cozy right where Charlotte is right now, and he was being so picky because somebody was laying a certain way, and he wanted to put his head in a certain spot. He was just being he was being a little like he was a spoiled little rich kid. And so here he is now. Little Henry, though, is able to get cozy no matter what on here. We gave the small little bedding nest to these guys to try to help keep them kind of together when they get in their puppy pile.
Underwear.
And helps them get very cozy.
Can you find more underwear?
Just a second, sweetie pie.
I love it.
Trying to get the camera off to the side so that it doesn't spook Mom. Sometimes because we have it on a tripod, sometimes when Robin comes over and sees that the tripod's right in front of the
You guys watch this?
doorway to
Underwear?
the crate, then yes, those were washed.
Smell them.
I can't tell if they've been put or not. So let's just get names.
Oh, Mom, you're out.
Oh, we got clean laundry right here, sweetie.
Mom, also I need clothes too.
Here's the thing, sweetie. I know that is there a reason you want to go to school today? What is it you want to go to school for? Are you afraid of missing something?
Cause my friends, cause I go on my brother's bus.
Because you go on your brother's bus? Well, so here's the thing is the school, if you were sicky, like throw up sicky during the day yesterday, they want you to have at least one day at home where you weren't throw up sicky before you come back. And so I don't know if you can go back today without breaking rules. Because I think according to the rules, we have to keep you home another day. But it's okay though, because Bella, sweetie, we would love to have you home an extra day when you're feeling a bit better, and then tomorrow it's just Friday, and you can see your friends one more day before the weekend. Let's put on this dress since it's gonna be nice out today.
What the heck? Yes, 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 yes.
What the heck?
Yes, yes, yes.
I love how pretty this dress is. Such a pretty girl.
School dressy. School dressy.
This first day of school dress.
Yep.
Alright, here, look at me so I can get you all fastened.
Belarus.
Okay.
Here's your launch bands.
Okay.
I took the really pretty green one and put it with a screen protector that was like sage greenish gray.
Oh, that sounds really perfect.
Yeah, and the colors
Whenever
are
you
so
want-
close.
Whenever you want to like switch it out to like change your mind, feel free to just come
Okay.
pick one.
Open guard!
Look at this. Oh, it's super pretty. Do you have it on? Or is it? Bella. This is an outside toy or a basement toy. You are more than welcome to go play with it or in your bedroom. But it's way too loud to be in here with the puppies.
Mommy,
What?
Can I put that blue flying thing back?
I don't think it's charged.
It is charged.
It is not charged.
Not. Oh, it turned on. Hey, look. Oh, it's green. It's on. I'm gonna try this. Daddy, look at this green. Daddy, look at this.
Oh darn it, I missed your messages from Heather and Pippa's family. Robert, I can't remember if you go by Bob or Robert. I'm so sorry. If you're still on, feel free to let me know or send me a message. Heather, do you see Chance right now? He doesn't look too picky at the moment. Or maybe I'm jinxing it. He's living the high life. He really is. Don't you ever, like, do you ever look at them and just feel some sort of, I don't want to call it envy, but just like, man, what a nice way to live where you don't have to worry about mortgages and parent-teacher conferences and all that sort of, you know, life. Are you okay? Oh, he just couldn't get his footing. This ear is still working. So when this is in the womb, his ear was kind of pinned back a little bit. He was one of those. And so it falls very naturally like this. Good boy, Chance. Man, he is shaping up to be such a nice puppy. And there's a lot of people who say that, you know, they have no personalities whatsoever at 2 weeks old and you couldn't tell the difference. But we, having done this ourselves, if you pay close enough attention, you can see some pretty big things that help you kind of identify personality traits. It's not obvious, but if you're paying a lot of, or if you're spending a lot of time with them and you're getting to know them, then you will notice things. It's like impossible not to. And so sometimes when some breeders are like, oh, you can't tell, you know, the personality at all at that age, I have kind of got to wonder if they just kind of use that as like a shield from having to admit, like, well, I don't really get to know my puppies that well, so I couldn't tell you, you know. Just because, I mean, look at little Mr. Orange. I mean, how did he not have a different personality than the rest of them? And, you know, it's not, of course, it's not a most reliable indicator, but when you have nothing else to go on and you're trying to find, like, for example, Cavalier people know that Cavaliers have really good temperaments and personalities to be people dogs, and we kind of when they're born, we do a lot of handling, once I bought it with Mom, we do a lot of handling with them to kind of gauge how well they respond to people, and to start socializing them, to start kind of nurturing that, that desire to be with people. And so even in those early days at like 3, 4, 5 days old, we're already able to see which puppies, and I think we talked about it in some of the videos, which puppies are taking to us quickly. And when they're like 4 days old and they're taking to us, that's really fast. Even in Daisy's litter, they're 12 days old now, and when Daisy's not around and we pick them up and snuggle them, almost every one of them is comforted and happy with that until Daisy returns. And they're still really young for, if they're actively wanting Mom, whether it's to feed or for comfort or for warmth, to be able to comfort them and kind of satiate their drive to find Mom until she gets back at only 12 days old is really impressive. So that's kind of how we can run. One day, Drew will give me a heads up when he's feeding the dogs. Anyway, so we try to really, we try to pull that out and encourage that behavior, when they're missing Mom, when Daisy's not around, or when Robin's not around, that they can find comfort in us and people, and especially the puppies that we know are going to be emotional support. That sounds like Mom. Robin. There, Daisy. Daisy, you come to your puppies. What's your babies? And so Mochi, for instance, she's gonna be an emotional support girl. Hi, Robin dog. She's gonna be an emotional support dog. And so, she's gonna be like a 24-hour-a-day type emotional support dog. And so we're actually doing a lot of extra work and exercises with her, since we've trained a few dogs to be emotional support animals. And actually our 12-year-old daughter has done a pretty good bulk of that training, and so she's been helping us with Mochi, and just starting with like the socialization aspect of it, teaching her to pay attention to people and people's needs. Cavaliers have a very, very good, they all smell Mom. Cavaliers have an incredible ability to read their people, and not only that, not only can they read them, but read us, but they're able to respond in an appropriate way. So like, so my daughter, May, my 12-year-old daughter, her dog is Paris, and if she comes home from school and has had a horrible day, she's got pretty significant anxiety, Paris will be like off playing, doing whatever, doing her dog thing in happy dog wonderland. And if May walks in the house and comes and finds me, and she'll just be talking to me, and suddenly out of nowhere Paris will appear and she'll come running in. And just like any other day, except as soon as she sees May, her whole demeanor goes from this joyful, giddy, happy to this sort of worried, concerned, how can I make it better? And then she will lick her face. If she's been crying, she'll lick her tears, and she'll get up and snuggle in her lap. And so it's really amazing with how because it's consistent too. It's not just, sometimes this happens. It's every time. And for somebody with anxiety, it's really nice when your coping mechanism, something like, you know, a dog, is really consistent like that, because May knows that if she ever walks in from school and it's been a really bad day, she knows that Paris is going to come running up to her with a ton of love. And, you know, people who struggle with anxiety know how much it can help or hurt not knowing if you can rely on something, as far as, you know, how you're managing your anxiety. So, Paris has been probably, I know May will tell you that she's the best thing that we have ever done, and she's more effective for her anxiety than medication. So, we are very, very passionate about how we raise our Cavaliers and why we raise them, and very passionate about mental health and how our dogs can help. Because having an emotional support animal, it's like having your own therapy dog. You know, Paris loves when we pull out her vest, because she knows that that means she's going to go out and work. She's going to go do her job. And what that entails is, it basically means, you know, we're at home where she was kind of being a pet to the family, while also keeping an eye out for May, is, you know, kind of her job at home. And then when we go out, she puts her harness on. Her job turns to, what we taught her basically is, her command is focus. So May will just tell her Paris focus, and what she will do is she locks eyes with May, and her job is to basically watch her nonstop, and she's supposed to keep her attention on her. And whenever she notices May start to display any sort of emotional distress, or if she starts just noticing her body language, and usually she can pick it up before I can, she will intervene and start helping her. I'm coming, Bella.
Instead, yeah. Her people can. Let's say she.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to do it.
Here,
No, I don't want
that's all we got, baby.
chocolate.
We don't have chocolate. Sorry.
Like pups. Oh, everybody, you all look so comfortable.
Everything else?
But I think that any of you who are watching, emotional support animals are a kind of an underknown. I don't think very many people know about that. And some of the exceptions you're granted when your dog is an emotional support animal. But it's a really good thing to explore if your dog is a big part of your life as far as helping you cope with any number of things. It could be grief, it could be in a daily thing like anxiety and depression. It could be really anything. You just need a letter from your doctor that basically signs off and says that yes, you need the dog for your daily well-being. But there's websites you can go to that make this process really easy. In fact, the one we used after like doing the registration stuff, they set you up with a telehealth consultation sort of thing. And so then you can tell them kind of like the history and what's going on. And, you know, they're of course affiliated with the emotional support organization, the emotional support animal organization. And so they're not difficult. It's not like going to your own doctor and having to convince them of why you need this. They just want to ensure that you're not abusing it, and especially if you've already, you know, got a psychiatrist and a diagnosis, that's always helpful. But as long as you have that paper, then you can, you know, put the label, the halter, the harness with the labels that they're an emotional support animal. I always recommend using the in training patch when you have them out, just because they're not perfect, but they can be so helpful. And then I think a lot of families they have emotional support animals but don't realize it, and so they don't realize that there's actually a name and laws that protect them and their dog. And so if you or somebody in your family, if you have a dog and someone in your family is really attached to that dog and uses them to really kind of as a coping tool. If your dog is a coping mechanism for you in any way, then you should qualify. You should definitely see if you qualify to have them as an emotional support animal, because there are different laws that protect you and him. You can't be kicked out of certain places. You can't be the cost to fees are waived for like having to stay somewhere. If you have to stay in a hotel, you won't be charged the pet fee, since there's a doctor saying that you need them to come with you. There's some other things. We should make a video about it. There's a whole bunch of, because there is a lot of kind of red tape where the difference between ESAs and service dogs come in. And our recommendation there is, if you are really trying to take advantage of all of the wonderful protections that this has, then we really recommend that you go just like one tiny step further and train them to be a psychiatric service dog, because it doesn't take much more. They don't have to be trained by a third-party source. It's not like a seeing eye dog. The one that we found the program we found, it's all online. The courses are online on how to start training your dog and how to get them through the program. And then if with your dog being a psychiatric service dog, it's almost like your emotional support dog with more thorough training, and is now protected under the service dog and the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so I just think it provides a whole nother dozen layers of protection, because now you have them under the service dog umbrella, but they're still for mental health needs, whether it's anxiety, depression, PTSD, phobias especially. Oh my goodness. Anybody with phobias, dogs are, especially with Cavaliers being as small as they are, people who struggle with leaving the house, or people who struggle with completing things that they would normally do. Just having a dog that is able to read you and know how to respond to you, there with you while you and your therapist are trying to help work through some of those fears and distress, is really, I think it's very underutilized. It's a very good practice. It is very therapeutic, and it's not very well known. I mean, people know that dogs are helpful and therapeutic in that sort of regard, but I think that they don't realize, or they don't realize that there is much more that their dog could help them with in other ways. Especially if you have a dog that you are really connected to and is really connected to you. It doesn't have to be a Cavalier. If it's just a dog that you have a really good relationship with, that, I mean, you know if you have one of those dogs. But I know that our 12-year-old daughter, whenever she has something that's just the least bit distressing, she just makes sure she has Paris, and she just pets her, and Paris kind of gets her through it. And it's also helped get her with like phobias and those sorts of things. Just having Paris beside her and having that constant, or I should say that consistent reassurance and can't word what I'm trying to say.
She has that stability.
Yeah, the stability. It's just that very constant, stable. Paris is there. She is safe. She's hopeful. Everything's gonna be okay. You know, it kind of gives like a bit of like a guiding light, especially for a child. You know, when they're walking into something scary, they can't always see through to the end and out. And so our daughter being able to have her dog, you know, she, even when we're getting ready, we'll be like, okay, we got to put her harness on, got to get this. And when we're talking about, you know, afterward, our daughter's able to see like, oh yeah, you know, this will end, and we will get through it because we're grabbing these things and making these plans for once this is over for Paris, because Paris is going to have to go potty and, you know, other things. And so when we start planning for what comes afterward, it helps give our daughter a little bit of a little more sense of stability and a little more sense of kind of control in anxious or distressing situations. Which is another really nice thing about emotional support dogs, is they, when people are struggling with anxiety and depression, I think that part of what makes it difficult to just start pivoting into a better direction is oh shoot, I lost my train of thought again. Is having sort of when you have like a negative feedback loop in your brain, when you're always anxious and depressed and it's not your fault, it's nobody's fault because that's just how our brains work. But when you have an ESA, when you have a good ESA or a good dog that acts just as good as an ESA, like with our daughter, we saw that it kind of interrupted that flow of negativity. So, you know, Paris, even when I bring Paris to her and she's still upset about something, Paris will inevitably do something that makes her smile. And so it interrupts that, that cycle of negativity and kind of helps other therapies and other sorts of things that we've been working on to kind of take hold. And so that's why I say that I think, like, emotional support animals, I think some people I feel like don't take them very seriously, almost like they're kind of like a joke, like they're not a real service dog. But when they are doing what they need to do, I think they're absolutely priceless. I mean, before we got Paris, Drew and I both were like at our wits' end. I don't want to say that, but we were desperate for something to give our daughter some relief. And as a parent, it's just awful to watch unfold and be completely unable to do much about it. And so that's kind of how when we had planned to get Paris already, we were going to add her to our breeding program. And I brought May with me to pick her and Pom Pom up because they're litter mates. And she came with me. And we stayed the night. We made like a big trip out of it. She was going through a really hard time at the time. And we weren't even planning to have Paris be an ESA. She just kind of wound up being one. But so I brought May with me, and it was a 16-hour drive out into middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. And we stayed in a hotel. We picked them up, and then we stayed in a hotel. And Paris took right to May. I don't know if she was picking up on some of the crummy stuff May was going through at the time, but she really took to her. And that was when we were like, okay, well, I guess she's your dog then. Because we had been praying for something to, cut her a break. And so I feel like Paris was what was sent. Can you guys see how cute I'm not sure if the angle allows you to see how darn cute they are. Oh, big yawn. Oh, hi there, Rachel. I'm so bad about opening up the live chat when I'm not sure if you're still on, Rachel, but there's Princess Charlotte. I've been calling her Princess Charlotte. I hope you don't mind. Because of Kate Middleton's Charlotte. That's all I can think of. And she's such a doll. I love snuggling her. Because she loves to just like lay on your upper chest and she'll lay her head down like she's listening to your heartbeat. And then I just pet her right here and she goes to sleep. She's such a sweetie. Are you hungry? I think she's hungry. What a good girl you are. Oh, they smell so good. You can see from the poop catastrophe, the staining is finally coming out. Look at your big bright eyes. Yeah. Your big bright eyes. You're such a sweetie. Yes, you are. Oh. Such a good girl. Where's Chance right now? They all look so alike. Yeah, I thought that was you. He took Charlotte's spot when she moved. Heather, I know you're on. Chance, why don't you say hi to your mama? Can you wakey, Chance? Oh, big yawn. Oh, goodness. I'm just gonna go right back to sleep. Oh, you're such a good boy. Your mama says hello, my sweet boy. And I'll let you give you one of these. Yeah. Such a good boy. He is such a snuggler. Like some of them we pick up and, you know, I kind of have to like adjust them until they're in a good cozy spot. But Chance, when we pick him up, he just gets cozy immediately and then goes limp in our hands. So he's, a lot of people ask, like, how can you tell some of these things when they're so young? Things like that, when they do that consistently over and over again. He's just very comfortable with people and enjoys being held. He's like, you're boring me. You're such a cutie though, Chance. Still boring, huh? Or are you looking for mama? Yeah, oh, you're trying to nurse on my finger, poor guy. And poor guy, he had a little suction on my... Aw, I'll go find your mama. I know she's in the house. She was just in here eating her food. You're such a good boy, and his colors, Heather, are so pretty. Say, "Aya, sweet boy. Aya, sweet boy. Yes, Aya, sweet boy." Can you get cozy down here? Aw, good boy, Chansey.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Here.
What's Chance doing now? Oh, thank you. You left over my coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks delicious.
It'll be good with your coffee. It's fine.
Robin, I wouldn't come any closer unless you're planning to feed your puppies. I bet your babies want to eat. Ooh, they can sniff you. They're sniffing you out. Oh my, who's howling? Jesse, are you our first howler? With their new hearing, they can hear their voices now too, and so you'll start seeing them do this where they'll start howling, and probably in about a week or so, it'll sound less whiny, and they'll have more of their voice in it, and it'll be more of like a whoo, and they're so cute. I wish they did it forever because it's, well, maybe not forever, but I wish they did it for longer because it's really adorable. We've got a clip, I think, on our YouTube channel page. We have a clip of one of our puppies doing it from like a year ago. I think it was posted this, like, just last summer, but it was a clip we took a while ago. But one of the puppies just like sat up and looked around and then let out a big howl. They had fallen asleep while nursing, and when he woke up, he didn't see his mom. And so he started howling, and it was really sweet.
Hey, May said that you guys have to leave early today.
It's the 2 classes day at noon.
No?
Oh, yeah.
May said that she doesn't like them, so
What?
yeah. Bella's having one.
How does she not like it? It's covered in icing.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Did she try the blueberry one?
She would not. She refused.
Okay. Jesse's gonna be our first howler.
What's that?
Jesse's gonna be our first howler.
Oh.
That's him howling over here.
Jesse Smollett.
Uh-huh. So every time I start talking about Jesse, Drew cracks some Jesse Smollett joke. And so we started playing a Marco Polo style game where whenever, this was really frustrating me at first, but whenever I would talk about Jesse, Drew wouldn't let me continue until he would just say Smollett. Whenever I would start talking about Jesse, he'd go Smollett. And so it was frustrating the heck out of me, and finally I had to just start acknowledging it so that he would listen to what I was saying. And so now it's turned into a Marco Polo of sorts. But for Jesse, this is Jesse right here. So just now when Drew's walking out, I was like, Jesse's gonna be our first howler. And he's like, Smollett. So there, Blazeheart Panther. You do see open eyes. Everybody's got their eyes open. In fact, I'll wake a moving one. Missy Annie's eyes are really open. And you say, so show your eyes. Look how pretty my eyes are. And she's even got a faux hawk. This is how Drew does his hair. He brings it to the middle and then gels it to make a faux hawk. So I tease him a lot. She's such a good girl. She should be on bottom with how big she is. I'll guarantee, yeah, there's Ocho. Poor little Ocho. Oh, and they're all getting their 3-week dewormings today. That's one of the big things we're doing. So we dewormed them last weekend at 2 weeks. And then the dewormer, it works for about 24 hours. And the reason we give it over and over is because, for one, they're nursing on mom, and worms can be passed through breast milk. 2, it's not effective against worms that are in the larval stage, and so when we give it again at 3 weeks, if they had any that were in the larval stage that had since then kind of grown and were now killable, we use the dewormer and it'll get any of those leftover worms that we weren't able to get before. And then poor Henry. And then we give mom another dose, just to try to, same thing for her, pretty much, same reasoning, although it's more to protect the puppies and her, but, you know, it's prevented for the puppies. And then, they'll get their next dose at 4 weeks, and then after that, since they're weaning, then we go, 6 and 8, they get their next doses. But it's just good to, it has a very big safety margin. It's very few, if any, adverse side effects. So it's really safe to use for little guys, and considering what they're protecting them from, there's really no reason to not give it. It's so easy to get to. You can get it on like Amazon. In fact, it's less expensive we have a supplier that we often use, but sometimes it's been less expensive for us to get some of our stuff, like prenatal vitamins, and the dewormer on Amazon. And I mean, if you suspect that your dog has worms, definitely get them checked out by the vet. We wouldn't recommend just ordering off of Amazon and waiting on that. And make sure you get your pet examined, so that if they need anything more, they can get that, because the vet might want to give them antibiotics too. But regardless, my point being that if you're looking for a breeder and you're kind of asking questions, that's one that will kind of give you a good gauge to see, okay, if they're not doing preventative health care, what else are they not doing? And what else are they doing that maybe they shouldn't be? So it just kind of helps draw a picture of the type of breeder that you're talking to. You know, these guys are so little that if they start losing weight, it becomes a downward spiral, because when they lose weight, they lose energy, and they don't have a whole lot of fat stores. And so if they start losing weight for any reason, due to illness, due to mom not being around, anything, mom running low on milk, they get real sleepy because they don't have any energy, and all their energy is being used for sustaining life and keeping warm. And so even if they're not like failure to thrive, they can still decline really fast, because as soon as they start losing energy, then they stop drinking as much milk, because they don't have the energy, and it's hard. But then also the worms that they have are consuming all the nutrients that they are getting, and so it is a very quick downward spiral if they're not treated. And so that's why we just treat them and prevent it altogether and have healthy puppies. Because those worms, I mean, they're icky. I always tried to find a picture of hookworms for the video we did about deworming, and the only pictures I could find were so icky that I didn't want to put them up. But if you are curious, hookworms, those are the ones that you can get on by, you can get by stepping on, because they just kind of, they have, their heads are like these mouths with little grippers, and so they just like latch onto you. You know, like if the puppy is walking around, they put their paw down, they step down, and then these little hookworms just latch on, and so then they, you know, keep walking, and the hookworm latches on and then burrows. And they could also get it through fecal matter, but the roundworms are the ones that you can see in their poop, and many other worms you can, but roundworms, if they have roundworms, you can, oftentimes you can see it in their poop. But worms are so gross. I hate dealing with, I hate worms. Oh, hi there, Dion. It's nice to see you again. I like what you said, Blaze Heart. They're all used to kind of sleeping spread out, and so I think they're still kind of adjusting to sleeping snuggled up. Up until this age, when we had them on the heating pad for about 2.5 weeks, because they couldn't maintain their body temperature on their own. And so when they would lay down, they could just lay down anywhere on their sides, and they had a heat source. And so that was why kind of really up until now, you always kind of saw them just kind of laying spread out. But when we take the heating pad away, then when they're looking for a heat source, they find it next to each other, and so then you'll see the puppy pile more. Huh, squeak, Henry. Yeah, poor little Orange. I miss Orange. He was such a good little puppy. Yes, I think they're still getting used to being, it's like they got used to being, they were in the womb all snug and tight, and they were born and saw that they were kind of like, they got used to being separated a little bit, and so now they seem to be, it's like they're struggling to adapt to being in a pile together. Oh no, you don't need to apologize, it's okay. I enjoy reminiscing on Mr. Orange. He was such a rare little personality. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? I'm gonna get you. when it was there, the picture was still fuzzy. I get really annoyed.
I wonder if it's the camera.
No, it's not, because it's so consistent with being perfectly clear when this is in range, when it's in good range. And all the other, because that's the common denominator. That actually points against the camera.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that it's probably the
It's the internet.
service provider.
The puppies are being so sweet, and I was trying to explain how we, some people kind of look at us kind of funny when we're like, oh yeah, when we're describing some personality, and they're like, they're too young.
No.
And so I was explaining how like they'll have to do the little teeny tiny things that we do,
Right.
or the things that we notice when.
Oh, yeah. How's mine over there?
I thought it was mine. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, the breeders who say that they're too young to have a personality, it's that they're not spending enough time to get to know them.
Because we're sitting here and we're interacting with them.
Spend hours just with them.
Man, this thing shrinks some more. How much do you have over there?
I have more than you, I have what you usually have,
Oh.
so you probably have what I usually have. Yeah, that's what my nose looks like.
That's fine.
Yeah, that was really weird waking up at 5 a.m. and having pretty much no recollection of.
Okay. I tried to get you up. I tried to get you up, but you were like not moving at all. And I was afraid of like.
Take my pillow.
I don't know. Like I woke up this morning and even thought, I was like, wait, why did I take a pillow? I think it was I laid down and just was like
So you
okay.
got up and brushed your teeth, didn't you?
What's that?
You got up and brushed your teeth.
Yeah, I got up and brushed my teeth, but then I laid
See,
down.
if I do that, it wakes me up a little bit.
I had paused the show in the middle to brush my teeth, and then I came back and continued watching the episode, not of our show.
Oh, no, we stopped watching it long before I.
Yeah, no, yeah, we stopped. We finished that episode that we were watching, and then we didn't watch another. I turned on YouTube.
If I wanted to, then
Yeah.
you would love me.
I tried to find an episode of Our Boy, which you did make. Are you not folding your blanket up?
No, I am. I'm just getting distracted and forgetting how I normally do things. Because if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have remembered. And I tripped on things that are in the way. Owie, that hurt.
You should get it like in between your toes. It's always the worst.
Well, I got it right here, and so then when I lean it forward,
Ugh.
yeah, I'll just take my toes off and then it'll be better.
You kidding? Then you'd be even more.
Nerve.
Yeah, I'll say.
It's like opposable thumbs.
Pull that way. Keep pulling it. That
Dude,
way.
I know how to do this.
I'm trying to help.
Stop!
No, I'm not.
Laughing at me.
No, I'm giggling at how anal retentive we are about these.
If I'm not anal retentive about it now, it's gonna frustrate me later.
And, anyway, so I watched that, and then the Y-Files guy, I don't know if you've kind of watched that, he had a new episode, and so I started watching that, and it was like 30 something minutes long, so I paused it halfway
It's
through.
been working so well, I hope it didn't screw it up. It's been really solving our problems.
We have more boxes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got up, brushed my teeth, and I came back down and I continued with the episode, and then when that finished, I turned off the TV, and I was, in my head, I was thinking, okay, you know.
I gotta get up, I gotta get ready, or like,
I don't know.
you know, I got not, because I do this sometimes where I get everything ready so that just in case I fall asleep, it's all good, but
Yeah.
I unfortunately didn't do that last night. I even slept in my clothes.
You're gonna take me and then come back, right?
Yes. Daisy, it's me. Oh, was that Heather?
Yeah.
Is she texting you? Because I've been...
She's setting up, she wants to set up a FaceTime, but she says after 4. Or on the weekend. Yeah, it's, since we've got, what's their
Can
name?
you ask her if it's okay if I text her?
Yeah,
Because I don't...
what I'll do is I'll send it to like,
I guess, I mean, if you're texting her, I can text her. Well, I don't know if she's on. Heather, if you're on, is it okay if I text you, or is there international issues? I have so much stuff to send you. You can just send me a message or send Drew a message on our website. If it's going to cost you money, you don't have to send anything in the chat. I just want to be able to reach you more easily without costing you lots of money. Oh, was that cute? I love it. There was context to that. It wasn't just,
okay.
it wasn't just random.
Crap, sorry.
What is it? Just give me her number. Since you're texting her, I can text her. Just get rid of all that, and I'll just text her.
She's probably answering your. Yeah, I must.
Go into the contact. Good grief. I'm putting it in right now. You don't need to send it to me.
Okay.
I do too, because we can leave soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna leave that.
gosh, this is so awesome. I didn't even think of this, but she's on Wi-Fi. On Wi-Fi calling. The iPhone. Durr. Well, why didn't you say it when I was like, I'm worried about international calls? You could have said she's on Wi-Fi.
That was why I was having a hard time following it because I was thinking like she's on an iPhone, like I don't know, like. And it wasn't that I was like, oh yeah, she's got an iMessage or whatever. It was the when you were bringing up like, I don't want her to have to pay international rates. I was thinking to myself like, oh yeah, we don't want her to do that. Like I had agreed with you and
I see, that makes sense now. Oh man. See, iPhone is superior. I'm sorry, Droid people, but Droid and Google, I guess. Droid and Google's like,
yeah. I think that like Android has that same sort of program, but I'm not really sure because I've never had a Droid.
I hated it. And that was coming out of like not being on a smartphone,
Right.
going to a smartphone, and I still didn't like the Droid. So that think that says something. Oh wait, shoot, I gotta leave in a minute. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
you guys like, no.
So 80. Alright, I think we're just doing the one class today.
What?
I think we're just doing one class today.
She said that she was supposed to be there at 12:15.
I know, what I'm saying, I don't think it's gonna be 3:20, I think it's just two.
I gotcha.
That's why I was like surprised and then on Monday and then I was like,
I did call you baby girl. My baby girl.
May, you ready? Let's go.
Love you, May. Have a good day. Love you, sweetie. That's awesome. That's a great spot, Bella. That's a really good hiding spot. Wow. Oh, wait. You can see him.
How do you fix it?
You're so sneaky. Be nice to the rub dog. Do you need to go outside, rub dog? Oh, hey, be nice to the rub dog. Hey, Bella. Bella. Oh. Robin, you want to go outside? Come on.
No, wait. I know.
Daisy, you want to go outside? Come on. Robin. Hey, come on. Let's go outside. Robin, come on.
Dad.
Come on. Robin.
What's
Stop.
this then?
ball's yours. Come on.
Right will ever find toilet paper and he will not like this. I'm hiding this where I can't find it. Here it is. There it goes. Okay. Brian will ever find toilet paper in here.
No, that's not. Bella, that's not toilet paper. That's a paper towel, you silly goof.
You ever find paper towels and he can't go in his nose. He can't find it in here, right, Dad? He can't find it.
Bella, come on.
He can't find it right.
Right. Come on, this way. No, don't, Bella. No, Bella. Annabelle Rose. Bella. Bella, that is not a way to hide. It's trash, sweetie.
Hiding it.
You don't need to hide that. If you want to hide something, you need to hide actual.
Oh! You can hide this.
No, alright. Okay, no more cars. Come on. Let's go to the living room. You can take it.